Okay, I'm going to do a little screen sharing with you guys so you can see the presentation. Okay. So how to write juicy wedding service descriptions that sell themselves. So if you land on your web page and they read your service descriptions and they promptly fall asleep, you have a problem. And worse than that, if they're not booking you as their wedding planner, well, you get the idea. Now, the object of writing your service descriptions that make people want to buy or hire you is to really invoke their feelings. You really want to draw them into what you're saying and, of course, what you're selling, and make them salivate for what you have to offer them. So we're going to take care of exactly how to do that today, or at least 5 ways that you can knock it out of the church. On a quick side note, before I launch into anything, I'll leave the last 15 or 20 minutes or so for questions. So if you could please hold your questions until the end. If you have one, just jot it down so you won't forget it. And I will, leave time at the end to answer all of those questions. And one more thing, hang in until the end of the call because I do have one big juicy offer for you that you don't want to miss. Oh yeah, let me give you some down and dirty info on me, so you have some of an idea of why you might want to listen to what I have to say to begin with. So I'm Christy Lorette McCauley. I have a word addiction, and I'm not afraid to use it or admit it. In my past life, I was actually a certified wedding planner, and in my current life, I am the wedding planner copywriter. So I'm a published author, copy expert, marketing maven, communication chica, wife, mother, and a whole lot more. I wear a ton of hats, and I know that you do too. And I know this because as a former certified wedding planner, I walked a mile in your shoes, pumps, stilettos, or stylish flats. I have been writing for a very long time, probably since I was like 2. But it also probably didn't make much sense until much later in my life. But in the real world, I have over 18 years of writing and marketing experience. Wow, how is that possible? I still feel like I'm so young. It seems like so many years. But anyways, I use this experience in writing and the experience that I had from running my own wedding planning business in the past to turn your thoughts into words that land you dream brides and book your calendar solid. And here are some of my street creds. As I mentioned, I was formally certified as a wedding planner. I did own and operate my wedding business for about 4 years. During that time, I sat on the board of the National Association of Wedding Professionals in the Miami-Dade Broward chapter. I served as president, vice president, secretary, over those years. I have been writing copy and content for the wedding industry for over 8 years. I am the wedding expert on the Love to Know blog, Here Comes the Bride. I'm sorry, Here Comes the Wedding. I always want to say Here Comes the Bride. Those are our consumer articles, so those are written for brides and grooms. But I do publish there, usually anywhere from 1 to 5 blog posts there weekly. I've published thousands of wedding articles, both online and in print magazines. And I've authored numerous wedding books, such as Your Second Wedding and How to Start and Run a Financially Successful Event Planning Business. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to share a not so fun fact with you. So when a bride comes to your site, you have about 20 seconds or less to capture the attention of that bride. Not a lot of time. And if I say something to you like my Write Sweet Spot Copy Bootcamp, you can learn how to write copy for your wedding service descriptions, you'd be like, so what? Or I don't want to write, or I don't have time to write, or write for what? Well, I'm telling you this because the same holds true to your potential dream brides. Let's say you're a hotshot destination wedding planner and you're selling services to brides that fly into the great state of Hawaii, for example, to say their I do's. If you write something like, book a wedding planner to take care of all of your wedding planning needs on the Big Island, I'm telling you, it is Snoozeville, USA. But if it was something like, you hear the waves crashing, you feel the tickle of the ocean as it touches your toes, just for a brief moment, you can feel the warm and cozy sun on your face, you're holding a ring in one hand and the hand of the love of your life in the other. You're getting married tropical style and stress-free, all because you planned ahead and hired the Hawaiian wedding planner to take care of all of the details for you. So which one do you think is going to make your dream brides jump up at the chance to work with you? I'm telling you right now, it's the latter of those two. The problem that I see most wedding planners facing when they write their service descriptions is they're listing out a bunch of features and they're not really focusing on the benefits. So they're not really focusing on what their clients get out of working with them. So if you're selling features of your services instead of the benefits, you're not really selling to your dream brides at all. And you're definitely not motivating them to pick up the phone, to call you, or even email you, to book a consultation or book anything else for that matter. So here's what you have to do. You have to use words and descriptions that describe to your dream clients, well, you got to describe their dream wedding to them. In a nutshell, you got to tell them what's in it for them. And I'm telling you right now, even your sweetest brides are selfish. It's all about them, and they want to know what they're getting out of working with you. Now, while I was looking around for wedding planner service descriptions to include as samples, for this webinar tonight, I have to tell you, it was a lot of Snoozeville in USA for me. Planners are writing a lot of feature-based descriptions that are not selling their services to nearly the amount of brides that they could be. So we're going to go through 5 different options tonight for writing yummy, delicious, salivating-worthy descriptions that are sure to work for your business. So let's start with the first one. You want to evoke an emotion. So pick the emotion that you want. It can be almost any emotion you can think of, as long as it pertains, to what you're writing on that particular page or that particular description. I would say that for wedding planners, your emotions are probably love or fear, but it can also be stress, confusion, overwhelm. Think about this description. I hear the rain dancing on the windows as I open the studio door. With my tea in hand, I turn on my computer and let the low hum fill the air. I know there is a chill side. Fall is making its grand entrance after all. But here in this moment, I'm as warm as I could be. And you know why? Because as I sit at my desk and begin to pull together vendor contact lists in your wedding notebook, I'm thinking of you. I know you struggle. I do too. It's hard to know how to put together one of the biggest days of your life when you've never done it before. But you know what? I know better than that. I know that you are amazing and perfect exactly as you are right in this moment. Yes, right now. I crafted this wedding just for you. So you can show up at your wedding, be the amazing person you are without having to worry about all of the details. You are worthy of love and happiness and of all the amazing things your future life has to offer you both. Now that's a real description that I did find on a wedding planner's website, and I thought it was great. And after that, she, of course, goes into some of the details of what the package that she's offering actually includes. But it was a really good way of kind of making a connection with the bride and kind of spelling out how the bride's feeling and that she understands and knows it, before trying to turn around and then sell her on, any particular package. So that's one example that I thought was really good. So evoke an emotion, pick an emotion and, work with that. The second way you can go with your service descriptions is to tell a powerful story. If you have an interesting backstory or your company origin, rose from the flames of trauma or some kind of, interesting story, tell it. I recently spoke with a wedding planner, and this is her story. And I thought it was, pretty intriguing, so I wanted to include it here. And it's short, and I'll just call her the XYZ planner. I'll leave the name of the planner out. But the XYZ planner, is married to a wedding photographer, and her husband's one of the most popular wedding photographers in the area, that he works and where he shoots weddings, and he's been shooting weddings for eons. As part of his photography business, the XYZ planner, okay, we'll call her Sarah, she was offering wedding planning and coordination services. And I hope you're sitting down when I tell you this part, but she was offering all of that for free. So they weren't charging any additional fees, for her planning and coordination. It was just something she was throwing in as part of his photography packages. So after developing her planning talents and fostering creativity and, building up quite a portfolio over the 16 years that she worked as her photog husband's sidekick, she ended up launching her own wedding business. This is a great story. It really paints a picture of who she is as a professional. Not only what she can do for them as a wedding planner, but imagine what these brides think when they find out she was offering her services all these years for free, just to be nice, basically, and help her husband out. She could really convince them that they need, her service. And, it's just a great story. Now, your story may be completely different. I use my story as a former wedding planner in my copywriting, service. And I got to tell you, wedding planners love it. They love the fact that I walked in their shoes. I know exactly what they do on a daily basis. I know exactly what they go through at a wedding. And then, I can also help them, turn that into website copy that, makes a difference in their business. So think of what your story is, and, what your background, lends itself to as far as your wedding planning is concerned, and how it fits, the clients that the brides are going to be working with, brides, grooms, families you're going to be working with. All right. So the third way that you can go with your service descriptions is to charm them. So G. Peterman, yep, that's the company that Elaine worked for on Seinfeld, but that's not what this is about. But if you look at the copy for the Peterman site and catalogs, it is delicious. This company got it down. They are selling a charming lifestyle. So if you're not familiar with J. Peterman, what they do is they travel the world. So they're buyers. They send their buyers out into the world to travel and find the most uncommon goods that they can, all over the world. So all across the country, all different countries. And then they pull all these uncommon goods together and they slap them into one company and one catalog, one website, so that their clients can then go and buy up these innovative products. And it kind of makes them feel like they are worldly too. So they never have to leave, the comfort of their home or their office, but they can get these, products from clear across, the world, essentially. So check out this description for one of their dresses. And they actually kind of play it off as something that could be worn to a wedding, maybe not as a bride, but it's called the Francois and Catherine. So this is their description. It was a game they always played. He pretends it's completely impossible to get ready. On a moment's notice to fly off for a reshoot that was his idiot cameraman's fault. She pretends to agree. She gets off the plane pretending she doesn't look beautiful. He pretends to be surprised that she is. She pretends to be surprised that he is surprised. French film star travel dress number 2532. Low maintenance dress for high maintenance stars. Packs a degree of glamour in the most flattering silhouette ever. Made from a silky jersey knit with a little spandex. Ties at waist, lower calf length. V-neck or V-shaped crossover front neckline, shaping princess lines, 3/4 sleeves, flowing sweep imported. Reservations are at 9, Catherine. Could you make that at 10, you know? You might wear this if you only just travel as far as the corner. Now, I know this is an example that isn't related directly to weddings, but it really drives my point home, and it can inspire you, to come up with your own creative and innovative wedding service descriptions. And for more inspiration, and I actually just received another catalog from them today, sit down and read the Trader Joe's flyer that you receive in the mail sometime. Trader Joe's really knows how to write some intriguing product descriptions that you can draw inspiration from when writing your own service descriptions. So if you have a Trader Joe's in the area, pick up one of their flyers, or when it comes in the mail, because it comes automatically in the mail to you if you have one in your neighborhood. Just sit down and read a couple of those descriptions. And if those people can write about food that way, you can surely write about, wedding descriptions, service descriptions, something that's a lot more meaningful and personable and emotion drawing. So describe a lifestyle, one that they already live. So if you're after luxurious brides, they already be living an elegant life, a luxurious life. Use your descriptions to go after them, or describe the one that they want to live. These girls fantasize about their weddings for probably most of their lives. So, this is your chance to grab their attention by, creating a scenario, a lifestyle that they want to live, even if it's only for that day. Okay. So the fourth way that you can go about writing your service descriptions is to create a scenario. So create a scenario where your dream brides want to find themselves. And this is an example I found, real live example I found on a couple of sites, and I'll share it with you. So already started the wedding planning process but feel stuck. Maybe you have already hired your vendors, booked the venue, and chosen a theme, but how do you pull it all together? Let XYZ events help you with the finishing details. We can get you back on track, fine-tune your vision, and organize the day of nitty-gritty. From setting the table to project managing your vendors, only one hitch on your big day. So what kind of scene can you set for your brides? Which lifestyle do they covet or do they already live that you cater to with your services? And here's another example, a good example. Elope with me. Ever think of just running away together? Really let your inner voice of planning a church wedding go. Punch the gas to drive Thelma and Louise style to Vegas. Eloping should be like that. So grab your fiance, grab a group of family and friends if you want. It can be scary by yourself. And then of course they launch to the details of what their packages offer. So, come on, that's like fabulous copy right there. It's exciting, it's exhilarating. It's not stuff they're reading on every single wedding planner's website. It's really creating a scenario there where you kind of feel like you're in the movies. This is it, so where do your brides want to find themselves, and what kind of scene can you set for them? And get to your advantage. Don't write copy like all of the other wedding planners. It's boring. I almost fell asleep myself, and I'm not even a bride, anymore, trying to find examples that I could share with you guys, to show you what could, potentially turn your business around. Okay, so the final approach to writing your service descriptions is to hit a nerve. And I'll give you an example that's a really great one. She wrote it more for like a holiday wedding, holiday card type thing. She does invitations and, you know, stationery that pertains to both weddings and other types of events. But she really hits a nerve. The owner of Fresh Paper Studios, her name is Emily Roach Griffin. She isn't just selling some products made out of paper. You know, she's really hitting a holiday cheery nerve in this particular description. So she wrote a description for holiday coasters that brides can use at their wedding. That'll make you want to snatch them up as you go to your next wedding cocktail. I guarantee it. When I read it, I was really loud. She went through all of the service descriptions, you know, on her website as we speak. So changes will be coming for each of these, but I really liked this one. And I grabbed this around the holidays last year, so that's why it's more of a holiday here, but you're planning these holiday weddings, so it could pertain to your business as well. So what's your favorite part of the holidays? If you said drinks, then these cards are for you. Whether you're toasting to the new year with champagne, curling up by the fire with hot buttered rum, or sneaking a swig from your first flask at the back of Christmas Eve Mass. Sorry, Grandma. Drink lovers everywhere are falling off their bar stools for these clever coaster holiday cards. Wait, did she say coasters? Yes, I did. These cards are actual paper coasters, just like the ones you write your number on when you meet hotties at the bar. This year, write a sweet note to your friends and family and mail them out as holiday greetings. Everyone will talk about how clever and creative you are. For less than the price of a round of beers, you can impress everyone with your witty holiday greeting. All the other holiday cards sit in a box waiting to be turned into a third-grade art project. Yours will stay out on the table all season. Warning, someone may set a cranberry margarita on it, but isn't it nice to serve a purpose? Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or a wine enthusiast, these coasters are the most unique and the most useful holiday cards being sent this season. Let's make sure you're the one sending them. Oh, and because some of us have some more to say than others, these cards include 4 options for printing on the back. See the 5th photo for choices. The nerve you hit can be another kind of nerve. It doesn't have to be a cheery holiday nerve, you know, for a holiday wedding or a holiday event. It can really be any nerve that you want to hit. So here is what I now urge you to do. You know, pick one of your services. So pick a service from your repertoire and write a banging description that makes me and your dream brides drool. Make it as long or as short as you want, or as long and as short as you need to get your point across. But more importantly, make it delicious. So before I open it up for Q&A, I did promise a juicy offer, and here it is. So what I'm offering up is a complete website copy review for only $97. So after you take this information that you've received on the call today and you go and you revise your copy, go and revise your service descriptions, you can revise your other copy too. I mean, some of this is applicable to, you know, other pages on your site, but I do have stuff for those other pages as far as how to write the copy. But after you go and you revise your copy, you can have me come in and take a professional look at it and help you perfect it. So get it to where it needs to be. You know that words pack a powerful punch. So now it's time, you know, that you find out from someone who knows just what the copy on your site is saying about your biz. So here's exactly what you get. You receive a complete copy review of up to 5 pages of your website. And then after I do the review, I send you a little mini report that includes all of the suggested tweaks, the changes, any recommendations I have, you know, for you to make to your copy. And then you can take that mini report and you can run with those suggestions or not. You know, it's totally up to you, you know, how you handle it. Again, it's only $97. I am booking spots obviously now in March. I only have about 5 slots open for the rest of the month. And once those slots do fill up, I won't be able to take on any more reviews until, you know, April rolls around. But you can book your review or find out more information about the review on my website. And I put the link here, the URL here for you. It's theactionmarketingcopy.com/website-copy-review. So you can maybe copy and paste that or just type it on in without any questions you may have on that particular service. Okay, so let's open it up for questions. You should see a little box to the side of your screen that you can type your question into. And I will warn you, there is about a 30 to 45 between when you type it and you actually see it. So if it takes a second to come through, that might be why. Also, if you're on the main page of the event page, not in the actual video, and you type a question into that, because I have that both screens at the same time. So I had to have to answer some questions because I got lost until I closed out the video. So in the actual video's main page. Okay, first question. What's the rule of thumb on how long a product or service description should be? So I would say it depends on a couple of different things. First, you know, how many services you're listing on that particular page. If you have like 1 to 3 products or 1 to 3 services, you know, I would stick to maybe a paragraph or so to describe each and use it as a lead-in paragraph. In more detail, then what you should have them do is click over to a page where they can then read a full description of that particular service. When it comes to individual descriptions, so once they get to that, you know, full page description, or full description, I should say, it doesn't necessarily have to be a full page. Same rule of thumb as I do on everything. Don't get so hung up on the word count or the page length of your descriptions or any of your copy, really. Focus more on what you're saying or what you need to say in order to share all the information that you need to share. And if that takes you 495 words, you know, so be it. If it takes you 100 words, you know, so be it. If it takes you more, you know, that's fine too. But, you know, forget it, you know, throw out that, oh, it has to be a certain length theory, and really focus on what, you know, what, if you were a bride, what information, you know, do you want out of the description? Okay. I seem to have a habit of listing features instead of benefits. Is there an easy way to turn it into benefits? Yeah, if you have to start by listing out features, just don't hit the publish button. You know, work on it some more. You know, tackle one feature statement at a time and work with that statement until you can rewrite it as a benefit. You know, figure out how the feature benefits the client and then reword it that way. Think of benefits as being side, you know, what they get out of it emotionally from that particular feature. So an example, let's say you sell wedding jewelry and you have, you know, one piece that's a big bright yellow jewelry piece. You know, the feature is that it's bright yellow. The color is a feature. Now the benefit is, you know, maybe it brightens up their spring or summer outfits, you know, with the bright yellow necklace, you know, that complements a warm weather style. Now, if someone is looking for a yellow necklace, you know, the feature might be enough to sell them. But but when you write it as a benefit, you know, they might buy a yellow necklace and they weren't looking for one to start. So you kind of see how that works. So if you know, a bride is looking for a wedding planner, a feature-based description may sell her on you versus someone else. But if you're, you know, she's still in convincing mode where she hasn't been convinced she actually needs a wedding coordinator or a wedding planner, then, you know, a benefit version is what's really going to sell her. Okay. Is it better to write in paragraphs or use bullet points? I would say a combination is good, and that is especially true if your descriptions happen to be long. What bullet points tend to do is they help to catch the attention of brides that skim read. So if they're a skimmer, they get to a page and they start, you know, just skimming it to see what kind of info is on there. If they're skimming your descriptions and they see something that interests them, what tends to happen is they'll go back and read the entire thing from the beginning to end. But if they don't find something that interests them, they won't go back and read it. So breaking it up with some paragraph or some sentence, you know, full sentences, and then some bullet points or some kind of, you know, way of breaking it down can be really helpful. And then you have those brides that read, you know, from beginning to end anyway, no matter, you know, how long it is or what it says. Okay. Oh. Hang out for a few more seconds to see if any other questions come through. Okay. No more questions? Okay. Well, I do want to say thank you for hanging out with me tonight. And I do hold usually monthly seminars or webinars. So different topics. Usually I rotate out the topics. So be on the lookout for that. And this will also go out for those that weren't able to make it, or if you made it and just want to rewatch it to catch some tips or points. It'll probably go out tomorrow because it's getting kind of late tonight. But again, thanks for hanging with me, and I hope you have a great night.